Torah Or, Parshas Toldot, page 34, second column. Okay, the pasuk says in Shir Mayim Rabim Liyuchal Lechabes So'ava. The great waters are not able to extinguish the love. Ad Beis Vuzulain till the end of the pasuk. V'Zayah Chelik Gimel Daf Nun Daled Amud Beis. It says, "What am Mayim Rabim Donor Ilah?" This is the river from above. The Minei Nafkin Nahar L'Chol Ibur. That from that river of above goes the rivers to all sides. In other words, it has the main river that all the tributaries come out of. Rivers come from wells. Shemayonis Nevim in Atem, that the Mayan, the well, comes from the depth of the world. And from there the rivers come. Kamesha Kozak, it says, and it says he sends the Mayonim in the Necholim, in the channels, and the wells are underground. Rivers are overground. Wells are underground. But the rivers, on the other hand, flow openly. Therefore, the Torah is Nimshul. Okay, so he says like this. There's wells which are underwater, then you have the rivers. Yeah? From the main river comes all the other rivers, the tributaries. So he says, therefore, Torah is likened to water, like it says, so therefore, in Torah, if Torah is likened to water, and there's two types of water. There's Mayan, right? There's Mayan, and there's Nahar. So he says, therefore, Yesh Bechinas Mayan. There's a level in Torah which is called Mayan, the well, which means the source of water. Like we learned in the other Maimer. It says there's a level of Chochmah, but not in the Chochmah Yediyah, not in the known form of Chochmah, meaning it's only the source of Chochmah. Like we learned in Pasuk Liyot. Sheinamus said Klau. The Mayan, like the well that flows underneath the ground. It's not so noticeable. So there's a level in Torah that's not so noticeable, meaning it's the source of Chochmah. And then there's a level in Torah that's called Naharis. The river left Eden. Lahashke Sagan. To water the garden, right? Shaziv Ashchina Mizgala Gan Eden. That the ray of the Shechina that's revealed in Gan Eden. Understanding the secrets of Torah, Nim Shebuchinas Nohar Yetzim Eden. Comes from the river that comes from Eden. V'Nim Shechum Izchalak Kama Bechinas Noharis. And it comes out into many different rivers. Okay, so you have Maya, which is the source, and then that comes out into the level of Nahar, and that comes out in the various tributaries, meaning the way every Jew is able to understand it on their level. Therefore, that level of Torah is called Nahar, because it becomes revealed. And the let to be understood for the level of tzaddikim. That's the level of Torah which everybody understands on that and their level. And that it says Mayim Rabim Liyuchal Lechabes So'ava Shokanesis Yisrael. And this level cannot extinguish the love of the Jews to Hashem. Even though this level of Nahar and Mayim Rabim is a very, very lofty level, like he just explained. It's the source of Chochmah. Nevertheless, lo yashkitu so'ava will not quiet down the ava that the neshama has. Shanefesh leitismala v'tisravet sim'einai. The nefesh will not become full or quench its thirst. Aydei gilui zelevat, only through this gilui. In other words, the neshama is not happy with gilui. Neshama wants etzem. Like it said, Mili b'Shemayim Mechalei Chafatzti V'Oretz. Shemayim V'Oretz is Gan Eden Elyon V'Gan Tachten. Right? What does the Alter Rebbe, the pasuk say? Mili b'Shemayim V'Im Chalei Chafatzti V'Oretz. Like the Alter Rebbe said, I don't want you Gan Eden, I don't want you Olam Haba, I want you yourself. But that's all the level of Imcha. With you is Shemayim V'Oretz Gan Eden Elyon Gan Eden Tachten. Shebai Misan Gan Neshamas. To water the Gan. In other words, the pasuk says, Nohar goes out of Eden to water the Gan. Where the Neshama is now? Gan Eden, in the Gan. But it's only a Nohar watering the Gan. So it's only a Gilui. But Im Kovzen, nevertheless, even though it's great as it is, even Gan Eden Elyon, Mili B'Shemayim, meaning I don't want that. The neshama needs to quench his thirst only through essence. Because Gan Eden is only temporary until Mashiach comes. I mean, temporary, it's 3,000 years already, but it's still temporary. The whole Kuntu Sumayim is based on the pasuk Mayin Yotzim Beis Hashem, which is Maila Bechinas Nohod. That's a greater level than Nohod. Mayon, there's Mayon, which is the source, and then you have Nohod. So what's the level of Gan Eden? That's Nohod Yitzim Eden Lashkir Sagan. In Gan Eden is a Gilui of Nohod, which is a Gilui of Elokus. Granted, it's a very great Gilui of Elokus, but it's only a Gilui of Elokus. I know how do they get to Mayon, how they ace and Torah Or mitzvahs. Through occupation, again, with mitzvahs you get atzmus. I mentioned the story that Friedrich Rebbe was once verbringing, and it was a very, it was a very nice verbringing, but it came time for Mincha, so the Chassidim turned the clock back. But the Friedrich Rebbe should continue verbringing, thinking there's more time to Shkia. But obviously he realized, and he said to them, what do you think? He said, with a Pasha to Mincha, you connect to Atzmos. And this Rabbein is all Gilui. It's all Giluyim of Torah, But a Mincha, that's the way you connect to the essence. And he says, to Ayidei Eisek HaTorah VaMitzvos, Shal Zen Nemar, VaTorah Do'aino. By Rivka it says she went down to the well and she lowered her pitcher, Kada the pitcher, and she brought up water for Eliezer and the camels. But the Malech Adam, and they said like this, she went down to the Mayon and she filled the Kada. Now Kada is Chav Dalet Hey. Those are the Chav Dalet Sforim of Tanakh. Shem Nimshach from the level of Mayon. Of Gachakim Leibachach Miyadiyah, Sheikah Gilizayah Losalavi. That's going to be, in other words, the union of Torah is a level of Kad. Because the Hey at the end of the word is really only a vowel. It's Chav Dalet, Chadah. So the Hey is like a vowel. The Shadish is Kad. Right? So that she got it from the Mayan. So the Mayan, and that's why, by the way, what did Mashiach tell the Baal Shem Tov? Shefutzel Maynoi Secha Chutzah. Not your Nohar Chutzah. The Mayan is the source of it all. So he says like this, Achinei Kadei Liyasam Shocha V'Gilui Zeh Aydei Torah Mitzvahs Maisius. So he says like this, Gan Eden is wonderful, like it says in Maimorim, the others are waiting 3,000 years in Gan Eden to come back down for Tchias HaMesim. So you can imagine the others, every year they have an Aliyah. So you can imagine the others are 3,000 years in Gan Eden. You can imagine the level of Gan Eden they're in, and yet they're still waiting for Tchias HaMesim to come back down into a guf. So he says, Achine Kedei Liyasam Shach V'Gilui Zaydei Torah Mitzvahs Vatera the Aina. She went down to the Mayan, and she's died a Rivka Imenu, Dafka Rivka Imenu. Okay? Only Rivka did this hamshacha. In other words, who revealed the koyach from the Mayan to come to Chav Dalet Svarim? Rivka drew the water from the well. And the Alter Rebbe is going to explain now why it wasn't Yitzchak, it was Dafke Rivka.
A lot of things in the Torah happens around the well.
Yeah, all the shidduchim.
All the shidduchim, the water comes up for Avraham Avinu, Moshe Rabbeinu, yeah.
Because well is the source of Torah. The Gamayim is the source of the Nahar. So he says, like the Alter Rebbe started explaining at the beginning of Maimon, Torah is Mayim. So you have Mayim that's revealed, the Nahar that's on top of the ground. And then you have the Mayim. The Mayim is the source, the underground. So he said, why are they Rivka? Oh, v'mal b'chinas Rivka. We have to understand what is this, in other words, spiritually speaking. The level of Rivka is able to reveal the Mayan into the Nahar. So why is it Rivka? So he says, Yoshlahav and Tchila b'chinas Yitzchak. In order to understand Rivka, we first need to understand Yitzchak. After we understand Yitzchak, then we can understand Rivka. Kine Yitzchak u'tzchek v'tainuk. Yitzchak, like the name itself means, tzchek asali alakim. It's joy and tainug and pleasure. That refers to the tainug of tzaddikim, and also Yitzchak is tzchek with the yud. Now yud in Hebrew is lashon asid. So the ultimate Yitzchak is lasid lavi. And therefore it says in the Medrash, when lasid lavi, we're going to say, An Yitzchak ki ata avinu. Why? Because then it's the ultimate tzchayk and tainug is l'asad lavi. And that's the level of Yitzchak. But it's l'asad lavi, it's yud tzchayk for the future. And it says, like it says, Levyasin zayatzarta l'sachik bei. You created, you formed the Levyasin to enjoy with. L'chein Yitzchak u'lashin asid. Therefore, like we said, Yitzchak is Lashon Asid. Kine b'chinas chayk asul lanu alakim. Shabachinas gilui tainug zem nimshach haydei shem alakim. But the pasuk says like this: Tzchayk asali alokim. The level of tzchayk is not from Yud Kevavke. L'chayra, tzchayk should be Yud Kevavke, gilui. But the pasuk says when Yitzchak was named, Tzchayk asali alakim, kal shemei Yitzchak akli. So it comes from the level of Elokim. What's the inyan of Elokim? So he says, V'inyan k'inei shemesh u'mogen havai Elokim. The pasuk says until him, like the sun and the mogen means the ozone, whatever you want to call it, the protective shield around the sun, is the level of Havaya and Elokim. Okay? So the pasuk David HaMelech clearly says Shemesh u'mogen Havaya and Elokim. So Havaya is the Shemesh, and the mogen, the covering, is Elokim, the concealment. V'inyin ki Shemesh u'mogen Havaya Elokim sheshem Elokim is mogen v'nartik, is the covering and the protective shield. Al Shem Havaya Mahava Meyayin Liyesh. And what is this nartik? Shanartiku kisi v'helam is a concealment shlo yehe gilui Shem Havaya, that the gilui of Shem Havaya should not be rak ha'idei levush v'anartik, only through a garment hamaster, all of the covers it. In other words, in order to Havaya, the level of Havaya to be revealed in a way that we can handle it, it's like the sun. You can't have the sun; it's too bright. So it has to go through Elokim. You need, in order to have Gilui, you need to have every time there's a Gilui, you need to have Elokim, because every time there's a Gilui, there's a certain way that revelation is revealed. You're going to reveal something to somebody that can't handle it. You're going to put something that can't fit into a keli. You're not going to get anything. If you say you're going to have tons of water, but you don't have a cup, you're not going to get a drink.
Is that why by 10 it's
What?
By 10.
V'yitel l'cha Elokim. Come to the class tonight, maybe we'll talk about it. No, Chassidus, there's tons of Maimorim on that. V'yitel l'cha Elokim, such a bracha. Yitim v'yachse v'yitim, Rashi says. How does it come to Elokim? Okay, anyway. What was it? The commercial herb is Ziv HaShemesh, like the marshal of the earth of Ziv HaShemesh. Hamer derech masach upargim, that comes to a covering. V'yavdila aparechas o machmas nartu kumagin zeh. And because of this concealment, because again, if creation would be with Shem Havaya, the world would be infinite. Yikivavki is a gilev, l'mayla min azman, l'mayla min amokim. Right? Like it says, Yud Kevavki is Haya Hove V'yi have the same word. Right? So in one, there's a level of above time and place. So if it would be creation through Avaya, it wouldn't be limited creations. So he says, Umagin Zat, and because of this nartik and covering of Elokim, then Nivram become Yesh V'Davar Nifred, then they become a separate entity because it's covered. That means you don't have the original Gilui of the sun, because the original Gilui of the sun is too strong. You can't have the original Gilui of Yud Kei Vav Kei because it would be too powerful. So it has to become limited. And through the many garments, through the Kuf Chav Tzerufi Elokim, through the 120 combinations of the name Elokim, because again, you have 2 letters, you have 2 combinations. You have 3 letters, you have 6 combinations. So Elokim is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 letters, it says you have Kuf Chav Tziruf Elokim. You have 120 ways of combining the name of Elokim. So he says, through those tziruf from Shem Elokim, Nim Shech Lamata Ba'asiyah, HaChoshech v'Hester b'Yosef, comes down, it keeps coming down lower and lower, to the extent it becomes so concealed you don't even know there's light there. But it has to come through Elokim.
The Nadam came from Yud Kei Vav Kei.
Huh?
The
Neshama comes.
But that means it's infinite?
Neshama, of course it's infinite. The guf of a person, when Hashem said Nasa Adam, which is the body, then it's a V'yibach Ba'apav Nishmas Chayim. Yeah? So first he made it, he said Nasa Adam, that's the guf. He made the guf with speech. And then V'yibach Ba'apav Nishmas Chayim is out there when the blows from inside. That's the Gila of Yud Kei Vav Kei. And higher.
The Neshama is infinite even when it's nested in the body?
The level of the neshama that's not bound by the body, i.e. Yechida, is infinite.
But not the Neshama that's
Nefesh or neshama is finite, because it's melubash in the guf.
And also it could sin.
Yeah, because it's affected by the body. Yechida is not affected by the body.
The Neshama
It's infinite.
even higher.
But a person could, Chai is a partial infinite, but a person could reveal the Yechida within him.
Occasionally. Like some people consistent.
By a Rebbe it's always, by all Jews officially it's by Ne'ilah and Yom Kippur, and yeah.
So how could the body take that?
Huh?
How could the goof take the infinite level of it? The infinite level, if it's mukbal by the body, how could the infinite be?
That level of the neshama is not mukbal by the body. And that takes the body out of its limitations. By a Rebbe, where Yechidah Shebenefesh is always revealed, he's still in a body. When a Jew's officially daven Shemon Esrei, yeah, you're in the world of Atzilus. You know, they tell the story A guy once finished davening. He was davening a long time. Shemona Esrei, he finished. The guy went over to him and said, Shalom Aleichem. He said, what do you mean, Shalom? I'm here the whole time. He says, I saw that when you were davening Shemona Esrei, you were all over the world. You were in this marketplace, and buying here and doing there. So I saw you were in Shemona Esrei. I saw you were all over the world. So now I give you Shalom Aleichem. Welcome back to earth. You know what I mean? Okay, so when we daven Shemona Esrei, that's what we are. Yeah, but a Rebbe daven Shemona Esrei, he's openly atzilus to that. He's still in the body. He didn't disappear. He didn't become non-existent. Yeah. How can a physical keli hold a spiritual neshama, period? Okay. So through the lower level of the neshama, Torah mitzvahs, you could reach the yichid Hashem nefesh. Torah mitzvahs is connected to the tatzmus.
Yes.
Okay, so the body is connected to tatzmus, so yichid could be revealed. Before Hashem created the world, there had to be tzimtzum rishon,
Yes.
because He couldn't create a physical world without tzimtzum rishon. Yeah, correct. Okay. So now when Mashiach comes, the gilu is going to be lifnei tzimtzum. How would the world be able to exist then?
It's Mashiach.
Yeah, but how is the world physically going to be able to exist? So the answer is, before the world was created, there was no Torah mitzvahs. Now, after Mashiach comes, there's a lot of Torah mitzvahs. Jews connected to the atzmus, to the essence. So the gilui of lifnei tzimtzum could be handled. Mashiach's gilui is Ikar Shechina B'tachtein, the Rebbe and Batzil Gani, the first one, right? Ikar Shechina, before Achet Eitzad, was higher than Tzimtzum Rishon, right? Malchus Nein Sof lifnei tzimtzum. Yeah? And that gilui is going to be revealed by Mashiach. How are the world going to be able to handle it if then they couldn't?
Because we were given the tools, man.
What's the tools? Okay, so you do Torah mitzvahs, that's how you connect. So then the body is a keli for it.
So through Torah and mitzvot, the movable body connects to an infinite source of...
Correct. That's what we learned the whole time. How do you connect? You do a mitzvah, you connect to the essence of Hashem. What did Al Taref say? I don't want your Gan Eden, I don't want your Olam Haba. What do I want? You. You, right. Now do we connect to Hashem Himself? With a Pashta Mincha, you connect to Atzmus.
Sure.